Saturday, July 27th. 12 youngsters were on this green football pitch enjoying a weekend game. Little did they know, in the next few seconds, this very field would turn into their grave. A rocket hit the football pitch in the Druze village of Majdal, Shams, one of the 4 towns in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. The strike killed 12 children aged between 10 and 16 and left at least 30 others injured. Weeping men wearing traditional red-topped white hats carried the white-covered caskets through packed streets. Women dressed in black abayas cried as they showered the caskets with flowers. Many carried large photos of the dead children.
At this point, if this thing continues in this way, I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. 12 flowers, 12 children were plucked.
This has been the deadliest strike in Israel or Israeli-annexed territory since the October 7th attack by Hamas, and has put the world's spotlight on Golan Heights. Golan, which is the regional's biblical Hebrew name, or Jaulan in Arabic, is a rocky plateau disputed between Israel and Syria about 60 kilometers southwest of Damascus. It overlooks northern Israel's Galilee region and the Sea of Galilee. It covers about 1,000 square kilometers of area and has a political and strategic significance which belies its size. Let me explain. In the 6-day Arab-Israeli War in 1967, Israel seized about 2/3 of the plateau. Most of the Syrian Arab inhabitants fled during the conflict. An armistice line was established and Israel almost immediately began to settle the area that came under the control of its military. During the 1973 West Asia War, Syria tried to retake the Golan Heights in a surprise bid but failed. The following year, both countries signed an armistice creating a demilitarized buffer zone where a UN observer force has been in place on the ceasefire line since. But in 1981, Israel unilaterally annexed the Golan Heights, which also borders Lebanon and Jordan. The move was not recognized by the international community. The only exception is Israel's biggest and strongest ally, the United States, that recognized Israel's claim under Donald Trump's administration in 2019.
We had it recognized, Jerusalem, as the capital of Israel. It was a great thing. It was a great day, actually. I also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. I never even said I was going to do it. I mean, the fact is, I've done more for Israel by far than any other president. Not even close.
After Israel's 1981 annexation, tens of thousands of Syrians and Palestinian residents fled or were expelled from Golan Heights. Today, about 25,000 Israeli settlers live there in over 30 settlements. There are also some 23,000 Syrians, most of them Druze Arabs, who refused to flee despite the Golan's capture by Israeli military. They are a unique religious and ethnic group with traditions dating back to the 11th century. They incorporate elements of Islam, Hinduism, and even classical Greek philosophy. They don't allow for conversion either to or from the religion, and no intermarriage. The Golan Druze largely identify as Syrian while having a resident status in Israel. They have largely remained loyal to the Syrian regimes over decades. But why is the Golan Heights so significant? There's more than one reason. The Golan Heights dominates the route to Damascus on the Syrian-controlled side. The capital Damascus and southern Syria are clearly visible from the top of the heights. From 1948 to 1967, when Syria controlled the Golan Heights, its forces fired shells and artillery across northern Israel from here. Now under Israeli control, the heights give Israel a strategic vantage point for monitoring all Syrian movement. The topography also provides a natural buffer against any military advancement from Syria. That's not all. The volcanic plateau is home to significant water sources in the arid region. Among them is the Banyas, which feeds the Jordan River. The Hasbani stream, which originates in Lebanon, flows through the Golan Heights before emptying into Jordan. Though limited, the land here is very fertile. The volcanic soil is used to cultivate vineyards and orchards. Apple production is a key source of income for farmers on the heights. In fact, the Golan is also home to Israel's only ski resort. Israel and Syria have officially remained in a state of war. Though the ceasefire line remained relatively calm over the decades, tensions have been simmering since Lebanon's Hezbollah and Iran, two of Israel's foes, grew closer to the regime of Syria's President Bashar al-Assad. Syria wants the return of Golan Heights as part of any peace deal, something that Israel cannot afford to give up today but did consider in the year 1999. During US-brokered peace talks in 1999 and 2000, the then Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak offered to return most of the Golan to Syria. But the main sticking point during these talks stayed on for the years that followed. Syria wants full Israeli withdrawal to the pre-1967 border. This would give Syria the control of the eastern shore of the Sea of Galilee, which is Israel's main source of fresh water. But Israel does not want to share control of Galilee. Its own border is just a few hundred meters to the east of the shore. In 2003, Bashar al-Assad said he was ready to restart peace talks with Israel. Indirect talks did take place between the two sides in 2008 with Turkey mediation. The talks ended after the then Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert resigned. When Benjamin Netanyahu took over in 2009, he vowed a tougher line over the Golan. Syria too gave up on talks. The Barack Obama administration did try to open a communication line, but the beginning of a civil war in Syria ended all possibilities. The Golan Heights is strategically too important for Israel to be returned or even to take a seat at the negotiating table today. Tensions have peaked in the region since Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel. It has unleashed one of the deadliest wars West Asia has seen. The death toll is inching towards 40,000. The latest rocket strike in the Golan Heights has fanned fears of a deadlier war spreading beyond the borders of Gaza. Israel has vowed to hit the enemy hard after the rocket fire. It has also named its enemy, Iran-backed Hezbollah. Israel says Hezbollah fired a Falak-1 Iranian rocket.
This is Hezbollah we are talking about, Iran's proxy in the region. Hezbollah will not be cleared of this event despite its ridiculous denials. It committed the shooting and it will bear a heavy price for its actions.
Hamas's ally Hezbollah has traded regular cross-border fire with Israeli forces, opening a second front of the war on Israel's northern borders. The Iran-backed group has launched several rockets at the Golan Heights. In fact, on Saturday, Hezbollah carried out multiple attacks on Israeli positions in response to a deadly raid on southern Lebanon. However, it says it has no connection to the rocket strike in Golan Heights. Iran has warned Israel that any new military adventures in Lebanon could lead to unforeseen consequences. The rocket strike prompted Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to cut short his US visit. Upon arrival, Netanyahu stormed into a security cabinet meeting.
Citizens of Israel, like you, I was shocked to see the horrific photos in the wake of Hezbollah's murderous attack in Majdal, Shams. Among those who were murdered are young children who were playing soccer and others. All of our hearts are broken over these sights. We embrace the families and the entire Druze community in its difficult hour, which is also our difficult hour. Since I was updated about the disaster, I have been holding continuous security consultations. I can say that the state of Israel will not let this pass in silence. We will not overlook this.
Israel says Hezbollah has crossed all red lines. Now, Israel says it is deciding on the manner and timing of its response. While that remains uncertain for now, what is certain is that West Asia is at a tipping point.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment. So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for a future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
Obviously today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
We'll start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. The first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Aaron Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C.